Cyberpunk 2077 as my hand shook as I salivated. I couldn't wait to begin playing this, and I've been looking forward to this for over a year. Welcome back to DG360, everyone. This is my first impressions on Cyberpunk 2077. We've done a few videos on this. We've watched Night City Wire together as a community, and now the moment is here where we're playing it. And I have to say, my first impressions on the game are very good. And I'm going to go over some of the things that I really love about the game, and I'm also going to go over some of the things that could be improved upon. But really, I've just now scratched the surface of the lore. I'm really starting to understand the history of Cyberpunk, and the more I learn about it, the more I just get engaged. And I didn't really think I would get this involved with a solo player type game. I haven't felt like this since Red Dead Redemption 2. And in fact, the hype's even greater than that, you know, in terms of being a solo player and no multiplayer. I'm usually all about the multiplayer, but this is one of those games where I was like, nah. I think there's enough here. I think the AI is going to be realistic enough for me to get involved in the map large enough. And in fact, very impressed with the size of Night City and the layout and the map and the people of Night City and the complexity of how CD Projekt Red has laid out the missions, your paths. We have Nomad, we have Street Kid, and we have Corpo. And one of the things that I was not aware of is I thought that the game would happen to you in terms of the path that you chose. So I guess that's one thing that I thought would have been more natural. Forgive my ignorance. I didn't realize that you would pick from the very beginning, but that's okay. So unfortunately, I chose Corpo. I really wanted Nomad. I say unfortunately because like that's not what I normally go for. Usually I'm the rebel. I'm outside the corporate sphere, the law, the governance. But I thought to myself, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to change the system from the inside out. And going through the very easy kind of immersive tutorial and entrance into Night City and into the Cyberpunk 2077 world, CD Projekt Red did a wonderful job from the get-go to grab you, bring you in, show you around, give you like the looks of it and the characters that you're going to be, you know, talking to for the most part for the beginning sections of the game. And I have to say they did a really wonderful job at teaching people not aware of how to play these types of games, how to play them. And I give them tremendous props for just grabbing you from the start and kind of guiding you through, but still making you feel like, okay, there's a relative challenge here. I chose hard on difficulty, so you have your difficulty levels. It seems like the character customization screen was not really as in-depth as I was hoping for. I was trying to get this guy to look as much a physical specimen as I am. You know, this guy doesn't have necessarily the amount of muscle mass that I have, or the amazing rugged good looks, but I think we got close. So I think this is something that just can be added to as you go forward in the game's progression. We'll see. I'll report on it as we go. Very simplistic in the inventory, very simplistic as far as when you're looking at the inventory and your stash at your apartment. When you get back to your apartment, you realize, okay, cool, this is like a base of operations, at least for the beginning half of the game. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go from here. Again, first impressions, but very cool that you can swap gear and you can use like a central point to stash your weapons. Really like that, and that you can modify them slightly. Not amazingly so, at least yet that I've seen. But I hope that as the game progresses and I get deeper into it, that there'll be more modifications into the weaponry. I would really love that. I did like the skilling tree. I did like the depth of the skilling tree and your street cred. I love the concept of that as well. And my initial game experience, my walkthrough, what ended up happening was I picked Corpo, think I could change the system from the inside out, walk through the kind of like the very beginning stages of the game, made a really bad decision to go ahead and assassinate one of the Corpo bosses by, you know, what my boss was saying, hey, keep this off the records, and I chose, okay, yeah, great. Now I don't know exactly how diverse the decision making is and these paths are within your life path. Like by choosing some of these decisions, it brings you back to the original choice from the get-go. So I'm not quite sure exactly how many branches there are in the past. I'm hoping they're numerous, and I'm hoping that all the choices don't just go back to like a starting point that leads you to like a funnel of sorts for where you're going to be directed to as your game experience continues forward. But to me, it seems like at least that level of gameplay is there. I picked a choice that was like, hey, I will help you assassinate another corpo boss off the books, and got caught. When I got caught and I was in the club, boom, now I'm on the streets. So I'm like a street kid by default. You know, like I'm a corpo, but a street kid by default now. And I'm not quite sure if that's always what's going to happen when you pick corpo. I will research that. I'll look into it. Maybe somebody who's watching knows. I would hope not. But if that's the case, I still say they did a hell of a job kind of bringing you into the world of Night City and into the world of Cyberpunk. CD Projekt Red is on point in keeping you in. I thought that the action sequences, as far as the gameplay itself, were pretty intense, but I also thought it was a little bit chunky. So little criticism there, constructive, but I thought that the action itself was a little bit chunky itself. It's not as fluid as I was hoping. I don't know if this is something just because of the type of gameplay that I'm used to, which is really fast-paced BR type games. So I understand, you know, being that the type of game this is, it's a little bit slower. I did like the scanning and hacking features. I really love the idea of being able to use that as a combat technique or a stealth technique to use your mods. The modifications with your implant and your cyberware is awesome. So like really just from the get-go, from the start, the learning curve is rather steep, but not that bad. You know, especially for people not accustomed to playing these style games. I really would recommend it. Just right now, I feel like I've gotten the money's worth playing the game as I have. It's really immersive. Like, you're really in the world. And the AI, for the most part, does a decent job of tracking you when they're talking to you. And it seems like there's quite a few options to talk to other people around you. At least, again, from the get-go. As I start playing, maybe I'll do more videos, and kind of this criticism and the praise will kind of evolve as I continue to play the game, and maybe put another video like this out there. But I just kind of want to get this out there because, you know, I was very excited. I was really hyped. I was hoping that I wasn't going to get disappointed by Cyberpunk 2077. And I have to say that the overall experience has been very enjoyable. I'm giving it a solid B thus far. I love the action. The gameplay, again, like I said, a little chunky, but you know, I haven't gotten involved that much into it. I haven't even really gotten out too much in the city yet. But I did love the sequence where I go from Asaka, sorry if I'm getting the tower wrong, where corpos start, and then Asakara, I think is the name of it, the corporation, and get into their limousine, and I'm drinking the champagne, and I'm looking at Night City out the window, and the telephone's ringing, and I can call on the telephone, very similar to GTA, how you use your phone. So I think this is going to be a solid game for the masses, as long as the content's there in terms of the hours that you can play, that they have offered us with missions, submissions, you know, side quests, things like this nature. As long as they've given us that, then I'm hoping at least to get like 24 plus hours of gameplay out of this, and I will say, okay, great. You know, so far so good. And that's where I'm at right now with the game. Let me know what your experiences are. I would love to hear how you have picked, which life path you have picked, where you're at currently in the game. What do you think about the gameplay? These are all questions that are, I think, relevant for people that are watching videos like this, trying to get an idea of where people are standing towards Cyberpunk 2077. Our community is wonderful. You guys hyped me up from the very beginning on Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think I really would have even got into Cyberpunk 2077 if it wasn't for my community that was like, hey, DG, check this game out, check this title out, and had already been out for a while. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of aware of it. It's kind of on the radar, but let me check it out anyway. And then boom, just got sucked in. And CD Projekt Red has been doing such a great job at keeping us hyped. They really have. And kudos to the team of CD Projekt Red, the developers there. I know we're pushed. They they got in that crunch. They were working night and day on this to get this out at the deadline of December 10th. It's been moved back a few times. I really think that the leadership should be applauded. I know it was a little bit tough, and there was a lot of SJWs and snowflakes out there who are like, didn't understand game development, didn't understand that crunch time was part of the world of game development. And I just wanted to extend out some congratulations to not only the developers and the people working on Cyberpunk 2077, but the leadership as well, for saying, okay, we have got to get this out to the people. This was our promise, and so far so good. Not any bugs that I have seen, nothing massively breaking down around me. Very smooth experience. Really, all in all, I would say like a solid B thus far. A solid B thus far. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching the video, and I will of course bring you more Cyberpunk and other games. That's what I do here on DG360. Thanks for your support. Don't forget we're having a giveaway. Star Citizen, Aegis Gladius, and I want to thank Cash for offering that up for our community. Thanks so much, Cash, for being an amazing member and helping us all out. Thanks everyone. I will see you on the next vid or stream. DG360 is brought to you by our amazing patrons and YouTube membership. Become one today and get full access to monthly giveaways, the exclusive DG360 podcast, members only posts, IRL vlogs, badges, emoticons, VIP Discord chat, and so much more. How much more? Every single member of this community is awesome. They're like family. In fact, I'm going over to their house for dinner tonight. Thank you for your support and your consideration.